व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो
तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तं मनपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातुरः जुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया सरवोऽभिनेजुषु तं सुखभूतं किं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। कालव्यालमुखग्रासत्रासनिन्नाशहेतवे श्रीमद्भागवतं शास्त्रम् कलौकीरेण भाषितम् जन्मान्तरे भवेत् पुण्यम् तथा भागवतं लभेत्। भगवद्रूपम् शास्त्रम् भागवतं कलौ पठनात् श्रवणात् सद्यः वैकुण्ठफलदायकम्। प्रथमद्वितीयौ तृतीयतुर्यौ कथितौ यदूरु नाभिस्तथा पञ्चम एव षष्ठः भुजान्तरन्दो युगलम् तथान्यौ कण्ठस्तुराजन्नवमो निधानम् कमालवर्णम् सुहितावतारम् अपार संसार समुद्र सेतुम् नाजाम्यहं भारवतः स्वरूपम्।
ॐ नमो भगवते
वासुदेवाय
तन्मादस्य यतोऽन्वयात्
इतरतस्तात्तेषु स्मृत्स्वराट्
तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्प्रत्रिसर्गो वृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलम् शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतम् पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम्
अतितितिशतां तमोन्दम् संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम् तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्। श्रीवल्लभेति वरदेति दयापरेति भक्तप्रियेति भवलुण्ठन कोवितेति नाथेति नागशयनेति जगन्निवासेति आलापिनं प्रतिपदं कुरु मे मुकुन्द। जयतु जयतु देवो देवकी नन्दनोऽयं जयतु जयतु कृष्णो वृष्णिवंश प्रदीपः जयतु जयतु मेघश्यामल कोमलाङ्गः जयतु जयतु पृथ्वी भारनाशो मुकुन्दः। अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं। वेणुर्मधुरः रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरः नृत्यं मधुरः शक्यं मधुरः मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं मथुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरम्. We are all blessed to be assembled here on the sacred land Vrajabhumi. Vrajabhumi comprises of Mathura, Gokula, Vrindavana Govardhana, Kamyavana, Barsana. Why is the sacred land called Vrajabhumi? Vrajati means to go, to wander. This is the land where the cows and the cowherds wandered. The gopis and the gopikas travelled. And as they travelled, the gopis and the gopikas followed the cows. Krishna followed the gopis and the gopikas, and he too wandered on this land. This is a land where Bhagavan demonstrates his Kalyana Guna of Bhrityavashyata. The controller gets controlled, chooses to be controlled. The Ashraya chooses to become Ashrita. Today we are going to visit Krishna Janmabhoomi, Mathura Nagari. Mathura Nama Nagari Punya Papahari Shubha. Mathura was a glorious city. Many of us possibly do not know who established the city of Mathura. There were several points we tried to connect yesterday with regard to the significance of Mathura. The city of Mathura was established by none other than Shatrughna. So we travelled all the way from Lakshmanapuri to come to Shatrughnapuri. Shatrughna was entrusted the task of slaying Lavanasura, and Shatrughna named this place Mathura. The name Mathura was given by none other than Shatrughna. We saw how Dhruva performed severe austerities, tapasya, right here in this place, chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Vasudeva Mahamantra, and Bhagavan revealed his glorious Swarupa and Rupa to Dhruva right here on the banks of Yamuna in Mathura. Interestingly, the name Mathura and Madhura seem to be very similar. Mathura, no doubt, is Madhura. It is Ati Madhura because Bhagavan chose Mathura as his Janmabhoomi. Mathana Adhara Bhoomi iti Mathuraha. Mathana Adhara Bhoomi. We also saw that Mathura has connection to the avatar of Prithu. Mathana Adhara. Mathana means churning. It is this place that was chosen by Prithu Maharaj. Bhagavan in his avatar as Prithu decided to cultivate the land. Agriculture, as we know, the practice was first started by Bhagavan himself as Prithu. And therefore this sacred land was used, this land was churned, the bhumi was churned. Mathana Adhara Bhumi. That is why it is also popularly called Mathura. Mathyate Paparashihi Yaya iti Mathura. All the papas are churned out the moment one visits the sacred land. Obviously, all the papa karmas and the punya karmas of the gopis and the gopikas were churned out, and the butter of love was offered to Krishna right here on this land. Therefore, it is Mathura. Mathura is also Varaha Kshetra, Adi Varaha Kshetra. Indra used to worship a Divyamangala Vigraha of Varaha that was given to him by Kapila Muni. Kapila consecrated the Divyamangala Vigraha of Varaha, and then that was offered to Indra. Eventually Indra gifted it to the kings of Ikshvaku, and that deity moved to Ayodhya. Now we know how Jagannatha, Ranganatha is the Kuladhana of the Ikshvaku Vamsa, which eventually was bestowed to Vibhishana and then moved down south to Srirangam. Another Kuladhana of Ikshvaku Vamsa was the Varahamurti. When Shatrughna moved here and established Mathura, Shatrughna brought along with him the Varahamurti and established the deity here. Mathura also is a Varaha Kshetra, Adi Varaha Kshetra. Such is the glory of Mathurapuri. It is Mathurapuri, it is Madhurapuri. And therefore, we are assembled here to relish the Ati Madhura Rasa Shastra Srimad Bhagavatam. Padau Yadidau Pratamau Dutiyau. We started with celebrating the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan through the first two cantos. Tritiya Turyau Katitau Yaduru Nabhistata Panchama Eva Sashtaha Bhujantarando Yugalam Tatanyau. Then we celebrated the thighs of Bhagavan in the form of the third and the fourth chapter. And then the Nabhi, the fifth skanda of Bhagavatam, is likened to the Nabhi of Bhagavan. And then the sixth skanda is the divine chest of Bhagavan. And then the seventh and eighth are his arms. The ninth is his divine kantha. Today we will relish the skandas 8, 9 briefly, and then we will begin the Dashamaskanda. Mukaravindam Dashamah Prapullam. Mukaravindam Dashamah Prapullam. The eighth skanda deals with Manvantaras and Manus. The ninth skanda deals with Ishanukatha. Dashamaskanda, which is the very Mukharavinda of Sri Krishna, deals with Krishna Cheshtitas. Apara Karunya Saushilya Vatsalya Audarya Aishwarya Saundarya Mahodadhi Achinta Divyadbhuta Athilavanya Yavana Swabhava Lavanyamaya Amrita Sagara Ati Manohara Divya Rupa Bhuvana Sundara. Therefore, the very enchanting face of Krishna, the very essence of Krishna Tattva, the very essence of Krishna Rasa can be tasted by tasting Dashamaskanda. This eighth skanda, when we say deals with Manvantaras, we see how Bhagavan through Manus continues to protect Dharma in every Manvantara. Every Manu is entrusted with the task, and in the process, while the Manus keep protecting Dharma, Dharma also evolves. And eventually we see in Dashamaskanda, Dharma evolves and Bhagavan reveals the ultimate Dharma, the Dharma of Krishna Prema in Dashamaskanda. In the ninth skanda, through Ishanukatha, we get to understand the Surya Vamsha and the Chandra Vamsha, the two lineages. And through that, we also get to relish avatars of Bhagavan and also his devotees. And eventually this leads to the Chandra Vamsha, leading all the way to the Janana of Krishna in the Dashamaskanda. Dashamaskanda is considered the very base foundation of Srimad Bhagavatam, because the topic that Dashamaskanda deals with is the topic of Ashraya. Ashraya means shelter. Bhagavatam teaches that Krishna is not only the source, he is not only the summit, He is also the shelter. What is important for us to realize is that we must necessarily take Krishna's shelter, and in order to take Krishna's shelter, we see that our intelligence also plays a very important role. Many times we ask this question, what is the role of intelligence in bhakti? In this journey of knowing Krishna and experiencing Krishna, in the beginning, intelligence plays a very important role. We must first take the shelter of intelligence, and then with that intelligence, we eventually take Krishna's shelter. Taking Krishna's shelter does not mean Krishna becomes our hiding place. He is our shelter, but not our hiding place, which means he provides the shelter, but that does not mean we can be rid of the problems of samsara. But Krishna ensures that amidst all the problems of samsara, he continues to protect us as the supreme shelter. Therefore, Krishna as the Ashraya is the very object of Bhagavatam and Dashama Skanda. The 8th Skanda deals with the various Manvantaras, and every Manvantara a Manu is appointed. The first Manvantara is ruled by Swayambhuva Manu. He is then followed by Swarochisha Manu. He is then followed by Auttami Manu. The 4th Manu is Tamasa Manu. The 5th Manu is Raivata Manu. The 6th Manu is Chakshusha Manu. And the 7th Manu, the current Manvantara, is Vaivashvata Manvantara, and the Manu of this Manvantara is Vaivashvata Manu. Interestingly, every Manvantara brings a set of new Devatas. The Devatas keep changing every Manvantara. At the beginning of every Manvantara, there is a new Indra. We have seen how even Indra is a common noun, it's not a proper noun. Indra does not denote just a particular person. Indra denotes a particular position. Agni, Surya, these are all positions. All the Devatas are positions. The names given are positions. Every Manvantara, there are a set of new Devatas. Every Manvantara, there is a new Indra. Every Manvantara, there are a set of new Saptarishis, Prajapatis. So therefore, we see as the Manu changes, the Devatas change, Indra changes, Saptarishis changes. And Bhagavan also takes special Manvantara avataras. So therefore, Parikshit, in the set of questions that he had to Shuka, he was very curious to know about the various Manvantaras and how the Manus are established. And it is in that process that Shuka begins to explain about the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu. Right from the 3rd Skanda, we see Shuka's explanation, his narration on the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu. And that as that continues, Parikshit wanted to know not just about one Manvantara, not just about one Manu, he wanted to know about all the Manvantaras and all the Manus. Therefore, we see a detailed exposition here. And in that process, Shuka also takes the opportunity to talk about the avatars of Manvantaras also. There are different types of avatars. One type of avatara is Manvantara avatara. Now, after all, Bhagavatam is his story. So, in the process of narrating history, what is history without his story? History is useless tinsel if there is no Bhagavat Katha in the history. So therefore, Bhagavatam is special because it gives us history, and within the narration of history, we also get to relish Krishna Katha. So therefore, the avatars that are particularly taken by Bhagavan as Manvantara avatars are also detailed. Interestingly, Vamana avatara is the Manvantara avatara of Vaivashvata Manvantara. The first avatara, Yajna, of Swayambhuva Manu, Yajna, a son of Akuti. The second Manvantara Avatara, Swarochchisha Ajita, a son of Tushti. Auttami Manu's Manvantara, Satya is the Avatara. Thamasa Manvantara, Bhagavan takes Avatara as Hari. So Shuka says, Bhagavan takes the Avatara of Hari for the purposes of protecting the illustrious Gajendra. And then immediately Parikshit says, I am very curious to know why Bhagavan took the Avatara as Hari and who is this Gajendra. So it is in that context, in the 8th Skanda, Shuka narrates the glorious Gajendra moksha and the prayers of Gajendra. Now we all know the legend of Gajendra. Gajendra was the king of elephants. He was a great devotee, but he was also proud of his strength. After all, he was the leader of all the elephants in Trikuta Parvata, and he was leading a huge herd of elephants, and he had several wives, and he was so proud of his family, so attached to the family, and he thought he was the most powerful on the planet. And Gajendra used to frolic in the lake, which was so very beautiful, and every day his daily chore was to take bath along with the rest of the herd. And one fine day he was there alone taking bath, and then he was attacked by a crocodile, and we all know how he was trapped, and the struggle between the crocodile and Gajendra went for thousands of years. Gajendra struggled, put a lot of effort, thinking that somehow he can extricate himself from the trap. Gajendra was proud of his strength. He cannot easily give up because he thought, how can a simple crocodile overpower him? But unfortunately, to his disappointment and frustration, he was unable to get extricated. The crocodile was overpowering him. Gajendra was losing out. He was losing his energy. He was fatigued. And after repeated attempts, finally wisdom dawned. Now, Gajendra was no ordinary elephant. He was Indradyumna, his previous birth, and he knew all the Shastras. He was a Mahapandita. He was a Jnani. He was a great Bhakta. And at that moment of calamity, when the adversity struck, when he was amidst danger, when he realized that it is not his strength that ultimately matters, Gajendra realized who can actually protect him, and Gajendra called out to Bhagavan, hey Bhagavan, you alone can rescue me. Now, this is a state where Gajendra completely surrenders to Bhagavan. Ahamasmi aparadhanamalayoho akinchano agatihi tvameva upaya bhuto me prarthana bhaveti prarthana matihi sharanagatihi akinchanaha agati. When one realizes that one is totally incapable, helpless, and one has no other gati, no other shelter, then it is in that state with deep sense of gratitude and faith, when one surrenders, Bhagavan immediately reciprocates to protect. Gajendra performs that Sharanagati. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Chitachit Atmakam Purushayadibhijaya Pareshayabhidhimahi. Pareshayabhidhimahi. He begins Gajendra's glorious prayers, Gajendra Stuti. It is celebrated because it is a quintessential essence of Sharanagati, where Gajendra realizes. The beauty here is Gajendra who begins to call Bhagavan to protect him. Gajendra starts his prayers asking Bhagavan to provide him physical protection. But then soon he realizes that it is not physical protection that he needs spiritual protection. The physical protection is where we call out to Bhagavan to protect our body. But more dangerous than physical danger is spiritual danger. The spiritual danger when knowingly or unknowingly, we are dragged into the whirlpool of samsara, dragged so deep that we keep falling into the bottomless pit of samsara, and it is that fall which is more dangerous than any possible physical danger. Therefore, Gajendra realizes that it is not just physical danger that he is in, more importantly, he needs Bhagavan to protect him from the spiritual danger. Therefore, he calls out, Hey Purusha, Hey Purushayadi Bhijaya, Adi Bhijaya he calls. You are Adi Bija, the origin, the root cause. And Gajendra knows Bhagavan is not only the cause, he is the Rakshaka, and he also knows that he has no discrimination. Devanam, Danavanam cha, Samanyam Adhidevatam, Sarvada Charanadvandvam, Rajabhi Sharanam Tava. The Jitante Stotra and Rigveda clearly declares, Jitante Pundarikaksha. Hey Pundarikaksha, for you, there is no discrimination whatsoever. Devanam, Danavanam, Samanyam Adhidevatam. It does not matter. One can be a Sura or an Asura. There is no discrimination. Anyone can take your shelter. Your lotus feet are available to all. Gajendra knows if even Asuras can be protected by him, then why should I not be protected by him? Therefore, his Charanadvandva are my sole refuge, and he surrenders, calling out to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is listening. Gajendra, when he calls out, the moment he calls out, Hey Adi Bhijaya, Bhagavan knows that now Gajendra has realized that he alone, Bhagavan, this is the fundamental prerequisite of Sharanagati. Fundamental prerequisite is, that is why Krishna says, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Krishna does not say Mam Sharanam Vraja. Because Krishna knows when he says, Mam Sharanam Vraja, we will say, Hey Krishna, I will do Sharanam to you. I will do Sharanam to 1,000 other people. I will also do Sharanam to this world. And I will also do Sharanam to my worldly desires. Krishna says, no, that is not Sharanagati. Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Ekam has to be underlined here. The moment Gajendra calls out Adi Bijaya, Bhagavan knows, Gajendra has realized that Bhagavan, Narayana is the ultimate protector, and he surrenders to him. Saha Antaha Sarasi Urubalena Grihita Attaha Drishtva Garutpati Harim Upatta Chakram. The moment Bhagavan knew that Gajendra has called out to him, Bhagavan cannot wait anymore. It is just that simple one call that is needed and nothing more. And immediately mounting on Garuda. Garuda, it seems, was not prepared. And before Garuda could be ready, Bhagavan jumped on, and he wanted to come with such a speed that instead of Garuda carrying Bhagavan, Bhagavan was carrying Garuda, because Garuda's speed was not enough. Bhagavan had to hurry, rush, come to the rescue of Gajendra, and therefore with speed, Bhagavan arrives there with his Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and therefore looking at Bhagavan approaching him, Gajendra immediately realized Gajendra was still not extricated, still he was trapped, still he was in agony, the pain was still there. But then the moment he saw Bhagavan rushing out to help him, then and there Gajendra knew there is nothing else he needed. He did not even want any more extrication from this trap. He said, what is this trap? This trap of crocodile is not what I want freedom from. The moment he saw that Divyamangala Vigraha, the moment he saw Bhagavan's beautiful form approaching him, he knew only one thing. All that I need is to be constantly presented with that beautiful form. All that I need is that divine communion. Why should I anymore be here in this trap? This crocodile is just a form of samsara trapping me, and therefore all that I need is Bhagavan, not to just liberate me, give me freedom from this crocodile, liberate me, give me freedom from this samsara. And immediately looking at Bhagavan, what did Gajendra do? Utkipsha Sambhujakaram Giramaha Krichran Narayana Kila Guroho Bhagavan Namaste. Bhagavan Namaste. what can I offer you? I am trapped by this crocodile. I now cannot offer anything. I would have given a choice. Even I would have immediately performed your aradhana. I would have brought everything to worship you, but there is nothing that I can do now. Immediately looks, there is a beautiful lotus which is just blooming, because Narayana is approaching. The lotus is also blooming. Immediately, in spite of the pain, excruciating pain that is undergoing, Gajendra takes that lotus, and then he knows, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Bhagavan does not expect anything simple, infused with bhakti is enough for Bhagavan. In spite of the pain that he was enduring, he offers that lotus to Bhagavan and says, Hey Bhagavan, Namaste, please protect me. Now I am no longer asking for physical protection, protect me. This Rakshana is essentially giving me mukti. Bhagavan is so very pleased. And as the prayers continue, Bhagavan is celebrated as Uttama Shloka. And therefore, Bhagavan is a Uttama Shloka, and the Shloka that praises the Uttama Shloka removes all Shoka. Gajendra's Shoka is removed. Then and there, Gajendra is now prepared for moksha. Bhagavan grants him moksha, which we celebrate, which is celebrated as Gajendra moksha. Gajendra moksha is in a way preparation, both from Bhagavan and also from his bhaktas, for the ultimate summit of surrender. Now, surrender now has happened here, but this surrender also will evolve. We will see how in Rasa Krida we will see the ultimate form of surrender made by the Gopikas. And here we see several parallels, several similarities and some dissimilarities also between Gajendra Moksha and Rasa Krida. That in both the cases, Gajendra is presented with a danger and he calls out to Bhagavan. Gajendra was presented with a physical danger, which then impelled him to call out to Bhagavan and surrender to him. The Gopikas were also in danger. Their danger was something different. For them, when Krishna is not with them, they consider it as a danger. The spiritual danger is separation from Krishna. It is in that separation, they too call out to Krishna to come and rescue. When Bhagavan comes, Gajendra offers a beautiful lotus as his offering and says, Hey Bhagavan, Namaste, I surrender to you. This is the first stage of Sharanagati, surrender by Gajendra. When it comes to the Gopikas, they offer not just a flower, they offer their entire, even their Atma, their Sharira and their Atma. Atma Nivedana, if we have to consider an example, an embodiment of Atma Nivedana, only the Gopikas of Vraja come to our mind. Gajendra offered a lotus, the Gopikas offered themselves, the entire being, including their body, mind, intelligence and their very Atma. Bhagavan's response, slightly different. In the case of Gajendra, Bhagavan came in as a protector to rescue. That is why he came with Shankha, Chakra, Gada. When the Gopikas called out, Bhagavan did not come as a rescuer. No Shankha, no Chakra. He came with a beautiful Venu. He came with a Murali. There is a difference between Venu and Murali. We will see it later. He came with a flute, and he did not come as a rescuer. He came as the beloved of the Gopikas. There, in the case of Gajendra, he came to fulfill the longing of Gajendra. In the case of Rasa Krida, Bhagavan came to fulfill his longing so that he can belong to the Gopikas. Gajendra wanted to belong to Bhagavan. In the case of Gopikas, Bhagavan wanted to belong to the Gopikas. And therefore, we see that Bhagavan rescues devotees, no doubt. But in the end, he conquers the devotees by revealing his beautiful form. But in the case of Gopikas, they are even more beautiful than Bhagavan, and therefore he allows himself to be conquered by them. Therefore, Gajendra Moksha sets the path to Rasa Krida. And as Shuka continues to narrate in the 8th skanda, the various manmantaras and the Chakshusha manmantara. Then comes, he talks the glorious incident that happened, the incident that we all celebrate as Ksheerabdhi Matana. Now, we all know how for the only time possibly, never before, never after, the good, the bad and the ugly came together for only one purpose. The Asuras and the Suras came together to extract the nectar of immortality, for Amrita. They came together, and we all know how the Ksheerabdhi Matana was orchestrated by Bhagavan. The illustrious Kuresha describes the beautiful Ksheerabdhi Matana. He says, Yetat katham kataya yanmatis tvaya asau hitva svabhava niyamam patitam trilokyam ashvapsaro vishusudha vidu parijata lakshmyatmana parinataha jaladir babhuva. He says, hey Bhagavan, what kind of atimanusha cheshtita is this? You are churning, you are orchestrating to churn Ksheerabdhi. How come Kshira is transforming into so many things which are not related? When there is transformation, I know a clay, when it gets transformed, will become a clay pot. A gold, when it gets transformed, will become a gold jewel. But here you have Kshira, the milk on one side, and you are churning it, and out comes Apsara, Vishasudha, Airavata, Ucheshravas. All kinds of unrelated things are coming. What kind of churning is this? Ksheerabdhi Matana, all the devatas prayed to Bhagavan, and they said, hey Bhagavan, you need to help us to extract Amrita. Bhagavan said, yes, and we see in Ksheerabdhi Matana, he takes several avatars, the Mohini avatara, Kurma avatara, and Ajita avatara. We see him running around and doing everything possible so that the churning can be done. The Devas are all excited. Bhagavan is supporting them to extract Amrita. They did not know he was actually working to extract his Amrita, Amrita of all Amritas. Eventually, Sri Mahalakshmi also emerges. Similarly, Rasa Krida is also another churning. In Ksheerabdhi Mathana, Ksheerabdhi was churned. In Rasa Krida, the hearts of Gopikas were churned. Just like how the Devatas thought Bhagavan is helping them to churn and extract simple nectar. In fact, he was doing all this to extract the Amrita of all Amritas. In the case of Rasa Krida, he was extracting, churning the minds to extract the Krishna Prema from all the Gopikas of Vraja. In the case of Ksheerabdhi, he used the Mandara mountain as the churning rod. In the case of Rasa Krida, he uses his Murali as the churning rod to churn the hearts of the Gopikas. Ksheerabdhi Matana, in a way, was a practice ground for Krishna. To practice what? To practice carrying Mandara, the Mount Mandara, because eventually he has to carry Giri, he has to become Giridhari. Kurmavatara is also a Giridhari, as Kurma is a Giridhari carrying the Giri of Mandara. Later, he has to uplift Giri so that all his Gopikas can be with him for 7 days and 7 nights without any interruption. Therefore, as Kurma, he was practicing for Krishna Avatara. And so that when it comes to lifting Giri, the mountain of Giri, he can effortlessly do it. In the case of Kurma Avatara, Kshira, the milk, gets transformed into everything which is unrelated. In the case of Rasa Krida, we see how he transforms what is material into spiritual. It is an amazing feat that happens on Vrajabhumi. The material gets transmuted into the spiritual. The body, which is material, the senses which are material, the mind which is material, the intelligence that is material, all get transformed and become spiritual. The bodies, the sharira of the Gopikas, the senses of the Gopikas, the mana of the Gopikas, the buddhi of the Gopikas are all consecrated, are all spiritualized. The boundaries between what is material and what is spiritual gets blurred. It is that divine state that the Gopikas reach. Therefore, Ksheerabdhi Matana is a precursor to the Mathana that happens on the sacred land of Vraja, where Bhagavan churns the minds and the hearts of the Gopikas. Kshetrabdi Mathana, there is also emergence of halahala, poison. Also, when the minds and the hearts are churned, halahala has to emerge. The poison of the material attachment has to be extracted. Only when the poison is extracted, then eventually nectar can emerge. The nectar of Krishna Prema, the nectar of Krishna Trishna can emerge only when the poison of all that is material can be extracted out. Thus, the Leela of Kshetrabdi Mathana is a precursor to the Leela of Rasa Krida. Towards the end of Chakshusha Manvantara, now that Manvantara is about to end, Pralaya has to happen and the new Manvantara has to begin. Now Bhagavan has a very important task. He has to now restore the Vedas and he has to protect the Vedas. He also has to ensure that the next Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, now the reign of Chakshusha Manu is over. Now for the new Manvantara is about to begin. Satyavrata is going to be the Vaivasvata Manu. He is going to be the son of Vivaswan, and therefore he has to protect Satyavrata. He has to protect also the Vedas. In order to do that, he once again indulges in another Atimanusha Cheshtita, a beautiful avatara known as Matsya Avatara. We all know how, as Matsya Avatara, he protects Satyavrata and he carries, as in the form of a Matsya, he carries Satyavrata, and in the process of carrying Satyavrata and all on the Saptarishis, he enables Satyavrata to cross over the ocean of samsara and to move on from one Manvantara to the other Manvantara. The illustrious Acharya Vedanta Deshika beautifully explains the Matsyavatara. Nirbhagna Shutijala Margana Dashadatta Kshanayir Vikshanaihi Antasvan Vadibara Vindau Dahananyau Dhanvanti Napamam Nishpratyuha Taranga Ringana Mitaha Pratyushado Pataschatam Dolaroha Sadohalam Bhagavato Matsyam Vapu Patunaha. Dolaroha Sadohalam Bhagavato Matsyam Vapu Patunaha. As the Matsyamurti was traversing through the waters, taking the boat along with Satyavrata, it seems the waves of the ocean served as divine swing. Dolaroha Sadohalam Bhagavato Matsyam Vapuhu. As Bhagavan used as a swing, as Matsyamurti was also practicing. He was practicing because as Matsyamurti here to the swings, he was practicing the dance of control and grace even in the chaos. Ultimately, he has to dance properly with his Gopikas. So therefore, every opportunity he gets, Bhagavan practices, and therefore, Dolaroha Sadohalam, traversing to the waves which served him as the swing, Bhagavan was dancing through the waves, carrying Satyavrata to protection. Therefore, the Matsyavatara, in a way, is a preparation for Rasa Krida. In Matsyavatara, Bhagavan protects the Vedas, but in Krishnavatara, through Rasa Krida, he protects the very essence of the Vedas. Vedas are protected, but the very essence of Vedas has to be extracted. The crown jewel of the Vedas has to be extracted. And the crown jewel of the Vedas, the ultimate essence is Krishna Prema. That gets extracted during his Rasa Leela. During the Matsyavatara, he protects Satyavrata. He chooses Satyavrata to carry forward Dharma into the next Manvantara. He protects the Gopikas to demonstrate the highest Dharma. Satyavrata has to protect Dharma, but the Gopikas were given the choice to reveal the highest Dharma, the Dharma of serving Krishna. Thus, again we see the Matsyavatara is a precursor to the Leela of Rasa Krida. 9th canto, Ishadu Katha. Shuka narrates how the Surya Vamsa and the Chandra Vamsa develops, and he explains the lineages of Surya and Chandra. Surya Vamsa, Brahma, Marichi, Kashyapa, Vaivasvata, and then from Vaivasvata Manu, and from Vaivasvata Manu, it talks about the various sons of Vaivasvata Manu, Nabhaga, whose son Ambarisha. Then he narrates the glorious Ambarisha Charitra, and then Ikshwaku, and then he goes on to narrate the lineage of Ikshwaku leading up to the avatara of Rama. But in Bhagavatam, Rama avatara is given only in a nutshell. But in that process, he celebrates all the kings of Ikshwaku Vamsha. And then he also gives the narration on the lineage of Nimi and the Janakas. And in that process, we also get to see the glorious lineage of Sita Mata as well. And then he goes on to give a narration on Chandra Vamsha. Brahma, Atri, Soma, Buddha, and from Buddha then comes Pururava, Ayu, from Ayu, Nahusha, Yadu, Puru, Yayati, from Yayati in the lineage comes Satvata, in the lineage of Satvata, Vrishni, in the lineage of Vrishni eventually comes Vasudeva, and the stage then gets set for the glorious, auspicious day of the advent of Krishna. Now, all the devatas are concerned that adharma is on the rise. Various rakshasas have overpowered the forces of good on Bhuloka, and together with Brahma, all the devatas pray to Bhagavan. He Bhagavan Satyavratam, Satyaparam, Trisatyam, Satyasya Yonim, Vihitam cha Satye, Satyasya Satyam, Vrita Satyametram, Satyatmakam Tvam, Sharanam Prapannaha. Satyatmakam Tvam, Sharanam Prapannaha. Hey Bhagavan, you are Satya, you are the truth. When it comes to Krishna Avatara, we understand really what is the meaning of truth. Truth is beautiful, isn't it? The beauty of truth is actually the beauty of Krishna. When we seek truth, we are actually seeking the beauty of Krishna, because truth is Krishna, and therefore truth is so very beautiful because Krishna is beautiful. And we also have to understand the truth of beauty. The truth of beauty is that everything that is beautiful in this world is only a manifestation of a spark of the limitless beauty of
Hey Bhagavan, you are cause of all causes, you are effects of all effects, you are the effect of the effect of the effect of the effect of the effect. He uses 6 effects. He shows how Bhagavan is not only the cause, he is not only the effect. Everything that comes out of all the effects and all the causes, the supreme cause is embedded in every effect, and he is the Antaryami who governs, who controls, who orchestrates everything that happens. And therefore, Bhagavan, you know, this is the time for you to now orchestrate things in such a way that once again you have to establish Dharma. Devatas, Brahma do not know that Bhagavan has already done his sankalpa. He knows the cause of all causes, now chooses Devaki as his cause to become the effect of Devaki. Devaki is now chosen. Brahma, as the Devatas are praying, and they are now doing Garbhastuti to Devaki. Devaki is now blessed. Devaki's eighth child. We all know the legend of how Kamsa killed all the 6 children of Devaki and Vasudeva. Devaki and Vasudeva are imprisoned. Now Bhagavan has taken the sankalpa. Devaki now is glowing. She is now glowing with brilliance because the Surya Mandala Madhyavarti has descended and entered her womb. She is now glowing like a sun, and nobody could understand the effulgence that is emanating from Devaki, because now that blessed Devaki is carrying the universe within her womb. Bhagavan, who is the universe himself, the cause of all causes, now becomes the effect, and he enters the womb of Devaki, and the blessed Devaki is glowing with all resplendence, and all the Devatas do Garbhastuti, and as they do Garbhastuti, Bhagavan is now waiting to appear. Esha Narayana Sriman Kshiranva Niketanaha Nagaparyankamuttishta Agatho Mathuram Purim. He chooses this blessed city of Mathura as his Janmabhoomi. As the divine time approached as that chosen time of Bhagavan, the divine descent approach, the very fabric of existence, every facet of existence, every fabric of creation begin to bloom with signs of auspiciousness all over. The entire universe blossomed like a divine garden kissed by the first rays of sun. Vaikuntha descended to Vraja. The cosmos delightfully danced. Every star aligned together to become jewels in the crown of Bhagavan during the darkest of the nights. It was the darkest of the nights, but the midnight sky magically welcomed the Surya Mandala Madhyavarti, the Chandra Vamshi. It was midnight, but it seems the dark prison in Mathura was glowing. While the sky, the stars were twinkling, they were all excited. There were more stars on the planet because the eyes of people were also twinkling. Because they know the auspicious time has arrived. There was mellifluous music everywhere. Kettle drums reverberated all over Brahmanda. Gandharvas and Kinnaras sang. Vidyadharas and Apsaras danced. The Devatas showered flowers, not to be left. They were chanting of Vedas by the Rishis, not to be left behind. Even the clouds joined the Vedic chanting. They too roared, welcoming the Meghashyama. The clouds, after all, should be blessed that Bhagavan chose to have a divine hue that represented the clouds. Therefore, welcoming Bhagavan, all the clouds started to roar. It was like divine Samagana being sung. There was a light rainfall, very blissful rainfall that began. It was like a blissful shower of medicines, Aushadha, that was showering to cleanse the Bhumi, to cleanse Bhuloka, so that Bhagavan can descend. After all, Bhagavan, Krishna, is the very Aushadha, the Parama Aushadha, the Divya Aushadha. Vyamoha Prasamaushadam, Munimano Vritti Pravritti Aushadam, Daityendrapti Karaushadam, Trijagatam Sanjeevanaik Aushadam, Bhaktyatkyanta Hita Aushadam, Bhavaya Pradhamsanaik Aushadam, Sheyo Prapti Karaushadam, Pibhamana Sri Krishna Divya Aushadam, Pibhamana Sri Krishna Divya Aushadam, the Sri Krishna Divya Aushadha, the Parama Aushadha, the Aushadha that dispels all darkness, the Aushadha that is the cure for samsara, decided to descend. Nishite, Tama Udbhute, Jayamane, Janardane, Devakya, Devarupinya, Vishnuhu, Sarvaguhashaya, Avirasi, Yatha Pracha, Nishindu, Riva Pushkalaha. Bhagavan decided, as Devaki was preparing for the birth, the Lord who is situated in everybody's heart, he decided it is the time for appearance, for his manifestation. As the Vedas declare, Nilato yada madhyastha vidyullevikeva bhasmata nivara shukavatanvi pita bhasyat tanupama madhya shikhaya madhye paramatma savastitaha. Just like how there is that lightning amidst a dark blue cloud, all of a sudden there was that lightning kind of a manifestation. Deep blue hue, and the lightning was so powerful, it was like 1,000 suns that arrived together. Bhagavan arrived at the auspicious moment when two important things happened. Rohini Nakshatra, Shravana Bahulashtami came together, and that moment that is celebrated as Jayanti. Vande Vrindavana Charam, Vallavi Janavallabham, Jayanti Sambhavam Dhama, Vaijayanti Vibhushanam. Vrindavana Vallavi Janavallabham, Jayanti Sambhavam Dhama, Vaijayanti Vibhushanam. Jayanti is an auspicious day, the time when Rohini Nakshatra and Shravana Bahulashtami come together. And it was Ashtami, but then it was like a full moon. The moon was blooming because the moon was excited. Bhagavan chose Chandra Vamsha to take this avatara. Therefore, it was not Paurnima, but the moon was glowing, blooming in full, and welcoming Bhagavan. Now, interestingly, Deshika in this shloka, he uses three objectives. Vande Vrindavanacharam, first adjective, Vallavi Janavallabham, Jayanti Sambhavam Dhavam. Jayanti Sambhavam comes third, but actually it should come first, because Bhagavan took his avatara on the day of Jayanti, but Jayanti comes third. He says, Vande Vrindavanacharam, Vallavi Janavallabham. Bhagavan first took the sankalpa that This avatara is primarily for me to come to Vrindavana to spend time with my Gopikas. The mission of Krishna avatara is nothing else. Everything else is incidental. Everything else has to be done. But his primary purpose, he has to fulfill the longing of his Gopikas. They have been waiting and Bhagavan cannot wait anymore. Therefore he takes a sankalpa. It is the time. It is the time for me to descend and fulfill a promise. And therefore he is Vrindavanacharam Vallavi Janavallabham Vaijayanti Vibhushadam. Immediately as the manifestation happens, Shuka narrates the glorious form by which he presents himself to Devaki and Vasudeva. While Devaki was blessed to give birth to Krishna, Vasudeva was blessed to first see Krishna. Vasudeva was given the first vision. Tamatputam balakam ambuje chaturpujam shankagadadyudayudam Srivatsalakshmam kalashovi kaustubam pitamparam Sandra payoda saubagam Vahara vaidurya kirita kundala Vishaparishpakta sahasra kuntalam Uddhama kanchangada kankanadibihi Virochamanam Vasudeva Maishra. He was decorated so very beautifully with all his Divya Abharanas. One thing Krishna did, he fulfilled the longing, the desire of all the Divya Abharanas. Ramavatara, he said, put them aside, and all the Divya Abharanas were so disappointed. Hey Bhagavan, how can you do this? You have taken such a very important avatara. It seems we have no role to play in this avatara of yours. All the time you are going without any of this abharanas. He says, wait, the next avatara, you will have prime time. And therefore, Krishna is Alankara Priya. Right at the time of birth, all the Divya Bhushanas very much were there. But there is also another reason. Sri Mahalakshmi instructed, gave him strict instructions before descent. You know what? Please be properly decorated, fully decorated, because the Divya Bhushanas are to hide his magnetic beauty. Without the Bhushanas, he is so very enchanting that the people on this planet cannot really absorb the divine beauty. So she gave instruction, you better dress yourself properly, cover yourself with all the Divya Bhushanas. So therefore, here Bhagavan presents himself with all. And Tvishaparishvakta Sahasra Kuntalam Dama Kanchangata Kankanadivihi Parishvakta Sahasra Kuntalam. Again, Atimanusha Cheshtita, newborn baby with flowing hair all over. This is again a glorious sight with all the Kirita, Kundala, with all the Bhushanas. He was looking, and he also had his original Vaikuntha form, Chaturbhuja, with Shanka, Chakra, Gada. Vasudeva was thrilled, but at the same time he was worried too. He immediately looked and he said, hey Krishna, how can you do this? Viditosi Bhavan Sakshat Purushaha Prakate Paraha Kevalanubhavanandaha Swarupaha Sarvabuddhi Druk. Bhagavan, now I realize you are none other than that Paramapurusha, that Purushottama. And how blessed me and Devaki are that you presented yourselves, you revealed your original form. Now here, Vasudeva realizes Bhagavan's Paratantriya, his supreme greatness. At the same time, the Vatsalya Bhava also takes over. Therefore he looks at Krishna and he says, hey Bhagavan, this wicked Kamsa is waiting next door. Anytime he is going to rush here. I do not want him to know that you are Narayana. Look at it. He knows that already the prophecy was given that the cause of Kamsa's death is going to be the Ashtama Garbha of Devaki. And Vasudeva already knows Narayana has descended, but still Putra Vatsalya. Who can ever get out of Putra Vatsalya? If Vasudeva cannot, how can we? Vasudeva therefore looks at Bhagavan and says, hide yourself. Do not reveal that you are Narayana. We will fool Kamsa. We all think when it comes to Pitruvakya Paripalana, we only give Rama as example. But Krishna also did Pitruvakya Paripalana. In fact, when we have to say Pitruvakya Paripalana, Rama did after slightly growing up. Before, only when Vishwamitra came and commanded that Rama come along with him, Dasharatha, was not ready. But then eventually with Dasara said, Rama, please go. Then Pitravakya Paripalana happened. Krishnavatara, it happened right at the time of birth. Immediately the moment Vasudeva said, please, hey Krishna, hide your Swarupa, hide your Divyamangala Vigraha, hide your true identity as Narayana. Immediately Bhagavan transformed himself to look like an ordinary without the natural four arms. Therefore, immediately what happened? Lo and behold, the prison doors opened. Everybody was put to sleep. Krishna's Yogamaya got into action, and Krishna orchestrated now. Krishna decided then and there. Instructions were already given even before the descent. Vasudeva and Devaki were told. Krishna prepared Vasudeva and Devaki with the bad news. Always in Bhuloka, good news and bad news have to come together. There is no escaping. So Vasudeva and Devaki also cannot escape. The good news, Bhagavan himself descended and became their child. The bad news is going to depart very soon. Immediately after taking birth, Krishna he was clear instructions given. I need to be transported immediately. Take me across Yamuna to Gokula. Already it was orchestrated that the seventh Garbha of Devaki was transported to the womb of Rohini, and Balarama was already there. Balarama is already waiting, and Krishna now has to be transported from Mathura. So therefore, on the same night, Bhagavan decides that he has to be transported from Mathura to Gokula, and therefore the strongly locked doors open automatically. And then as Vasudeva progresses carrying Krishna, everything magically, everything gives way, and everybody was put to sleep. And as Vasudeva came out, there was mild showers. It started to rain, and as Vasudeva started, as it started raining, immediately Adisesha took charge, and Adisesha, spreading his multiple hoods, immediately became umbrella to both Vasudeva and Krishna. And it was such a magical, divine, wondrous sight as Vasudeva was coming along with Krishna, carrying Krishna, protected by Adisesha as the umbrella, and Yamuna Devi saw them approaching. Maghoni Vashyati Asakrit Yamanuja Gambhira Toyau Gajavo Miphenila Bhayanakavatta Shatakula Nadi Margam Dadau Sindhu Ivashriyapate. Yamanuja immediately saw, who is this Yamanuja? Yama's Anuja, Yamanuja. Yamuna is Yama's sister. There was a glorious sight. Yamanuja looked, she could see Ramanuja and Balaramanuja coming together. What a wonderful sight. Yamanuja witnessing Ramanuja and Balaramanuja coming together, and Yamanuja was thrilled. This can never happen ever again. This is a golden opportunity where both Balaramanuja, Krishna, Ramanuja, Adisesha, both coming together, and therefore I have to use this opportunity. She was bubbling with enthusiasm. It was already raining, and it seems Yamuna overflowed. She wanted to the lotus feet of Krishna, but Vasudeva was carrying it. But Krishna also realized the enthusiasm of Yamuna, therefore he had to bless Yamuna. Therefore, as Vasudeva started to get in, he allowed Yamuna to bubble and arise, and he allowed Yamuna to touch his divine lotus feet. Yamuna Devi, Yamanuja was blessed then and there, having the association of the divine lotus feet of Krishna. Immediately she gave way to Vasudeva. Vasudeva then effortlessly crossed Yamuna and then travelled from Mathura to the other banks to the divine sacred land of Gokula. The illustrious Kuresha asked this question to Krishna. Hey Krishna, sa Putana Shakatamarjuna Yoscha Yukma Palyochita Anyapara Cheshtita Vishpulinge Yeshtalavanta Sharavanta Ahori Gudaha Satvam Vraje Vividishekila Kamsa Bhitya. Hey Krishna, are you afraid of Krishna, of Kamsa? You slayed Putana, Shakata, Trinavarta so very effortlessly, like how directing insects directly into fire. So effortlessly you slayed all of them. How come you were in fear of Kamsa that the same night you took birth, you miraculously transported yourself, you ran all the way to Gokula? Was it to hide from Kamsa? What kind of Atimanusha Cheshtita it is, hey Bhagavan? Yes, Krishna was in fear. Krishna was not in fear of Kamsa. Krishna was in fear of breaking his promise. Before even Krishnavatara, Bhagavan made a promise. Bhagavan, during Ramavatara, looks at Sita Mata and says, Hey Site, Apyaham Jeevitam cha Shyaam Tvamba Site tu Lakshmanam Nahi pratigyam samsrutya Brahmanebhyo Visheshataha. Hey Site, I can give up my prana, I can give up my Lakshmana, I can even give you up, but I can never break the promise that I have made to my bhaktas. Bhagavan made a solemn promise to the sages of Dandakaranya. He had to fulfill that promise. And the sages of Dandakaranya, in the form of Gopikas, the Gopikas are the sages of Dandakaranya reborn. They have been waiting. They have been waiting, and Bhagavan did not want to keep them waiting forever, and therefore he was in fear of breaking his promise. Therefore, yes, the answer to Kuresha's question from Bhagavan is, hey Kuresha, you are right. I am in fear. I am in fear of breaking my promise to bhaktas. My gopikas are waiting, and therefore I cannot spend even one moment after taking birth in Mathura. I have to be transported. Therefore, Bhagavan decides to get transported. Vasudeva carries Balaramanuja. Ramanuja protects Balaramanuja. Yamanuja gives way. Together, let us celebrating Yamanuja, Balaramanuja and Ramanuja. Let us all eventually reach to Gokula, which is the place we are going to head to later in the afternoon. The scene shifts from Mathura to the Punya Bhumi of Gokula, where Krishna Cheshtitas begin. Atimanusha Shila Vritta Veshehi, Ativrittamana Vikrama Pratapaihi, Atilangita Sarvaloka Samyam, Varaye Vaishnava Vaibhava Avatharam. The Atimanusha Cheshtitas of Krishna are about to begin. Bhagavan has descended in Mathura and got transported to Gokula. All the Vrajavasis are waiting. We too are waiting. Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Finally, we are in Vraja. What a sight it was when we all checked in. And then when, after going to the room and we came down to the hall, I could see the mood of Vraja. All our Devis were dancing, the kids were running around in joy, excitement. Each and every child was looking like Krishna and Gopika. There was excitement all around. Obviously, this excitement is infectious. Vraja transforms all of us into Gopikas. As Rukmini Devi says, Chittam apatratam me. We don't need to be overpowered by our shame. One of the things on Brajabhumi is we have to let go of all reservations and connect with Krishna. Sing, dance, jump. Jump carefully. So we have seen significance of Mathura, place chosen by Krishna to descend, to manifest. So we are going to head to Mathura this morning. So we begin our Vraja Yatra by visiting Krishna Janmabhoomi. So therefore, keep contemplating on that divine moment when Krishna arrived in that corner prison cell. Of course, apart from awe, there will also be a shock. You will see why. I don't want to get into that. In Mathura, Janmasthan, Keshavji Mandir, and we will also go to Potra Kund. This is where the clothing, all the clothes was washed by Vasudeva and Devaki. So we will visit Yamuna. Up till noon we will spend in Mathura. Right? What is important again is there is going to be crowd. There is going to be crowd. We all need to stick together as smaller groups and larger groups. Also, there is going to be some time for shopping. Why I say that? Because whether we like it or not, Krishna Janmabhoomi in and around has been made into a shopping complex. They all know the tricks of the trade. So there will be rows of shops. So there is no other way other than going through the lanes of shopping around. So we will be there. So what is important is we don't stay at one particular place. So very important we all navigate the shopping maze around the temple in such a way that we are not left behind. So after finishing Mathura, the temples in Mathura, by around noon time we will travel to Gokula, which is on the other side, other banks of Yamuna. And in Gokula first we will go and rest as we have planned through all the days, taking the condition of the weather into account. Between 1 and 4 it's going to be break time. But break time in satsang means satsang continues. So after Prasad, there is a Dharmashala that is booked in Gokula. We will have today Adyaji and Akshitaji performing for us in Gokula. So and we can expect many more performances as well. Let's plan to have chanting, bhajans. We will also practice Vishnu Sahasranama there. And then we will spend the rest of the evening in Gokula, places of all Krishna Leela, Nanda Bhavan. Before we start the Krishna Leela tomorrow, we will get to spend places like Utkalbandh, Damodara Leela, place of Damodara Leela, Brahmandaghat, to where Krishna ate mud, and Ramanreti. This is the place where Krishna played on the banks, on the sand dunes, and those who choose can roll on sand, because this is that divine place where it is deeply connected with Krishna. Every sand dune, every piece, every particle of sand there has Krishna rasa embedded. So this is a place where it is very popular for Krishna bhaktas to spend time. Late in the evening, right time, sun sets and it will be right time for us. Possibly there can be dancing too in Ramanreti. So also get your steps ready there. So after that, then we come back for prasad and rest for the night too. So we have a packed schedule. Let us all get set for Krishna Darshana, beginning with his Janmasthan. Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
दे दी हाँ चौराहे पे मिले गाड़ी इधर ही है ठीक ठीक
मेरी कन्या की आत्मा की मन बनता है तब
पूरा दिन जब तू
ना ये साली में झूला ना हो
So today we have a very, not long, but a very beautiful series of kalakars that will be performing for you today. So we have Arohi and her cousin sister, Aditi. So we have Arohi and Aditi, both performing separately. We have Akshita and me performing together, and we have Sumati ji's Bharatnatyam group as well. So first, I would like you to be quiet for the performance, so, for some respect. And first, I would like to welcome Miss Aditi to perform for us. A round of applause.
मुरी बंसी बजैया नंदलाला कन्हैया मुरी बंसी बजैया नंदलाला कन्हैया मुरी बंसी बजैया नंदलाला कन्हैया मुरी मुरी ऐसे नहीं छेड़ो सारे सुन सुन मासे नहीं खेलो गाने जाके यशोदा से कह दूंगी सोचा सतालो ओ कान्हा सोचा जरा चुप के तकिया दूंगी कान्हा सोचा सतालो कान्हा सोचा जरा नींद में न छोड़ूंगी कान्हा सोचा सतालो कान्हा सोचा जरा कान्हा सोचा सतालो कान्हा सोचा जरा
It's not connected to the Bluetooth connected. Next we have Aditi and Arohi doing a duet on a wonderful song called Ram Aayenge. And once more, can we have clapping for Aditi?
भीगे भीगे जाए कैसे खुशियाँ छुपाएगा मायके जिसे समझ न पाएगा वो बिताएगा मायके मेरा भीगे भीगे जाए कैसे खुशियाँ छुपाएगा मायके जिसे समझ न पाएगा वो बिताएगा
by Aditi and Arati. Next, we will be having Akshita and me, who are going to be performing on a famous, it's on Ras Leela, from Raja Di Raj that came to the I love that It's a wrong song.
जब कहान बंसी बजाए हम लगाए वृंदावन
which is called Doli, which is Krishna and Radha.
Holy in Vrindavan.
Doli in Vrindavan.
Yes.
Akshita ji have been practicing for a few days, and Sumati ji just practiced today. Sadhan Sahasra, and I think you are a trained dancer, it looks like, and you have been training her Arohi as well. So let's all give a big round of applause. Standing ovation, standing ovation. Jai Shri Krishna! Jai Shri Krishna! Jai Shri Krishna! We'll have now chanting. And
All
then
the kids go to the stage. All the kids go to the stage.
भगवान की जय, नंद महाराज की जय, यशोदा मैया की जय, ब्रजभूमि धाम की जय, गोकुल धाम की जय, आज के आनंद की जय। सब लोग ऐसा ताली बजाइए, बोलिए राधे 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 राधे। ऊंचा हाथ करिए, एक बार हंस जाइए, ऐसा नहीं, थोड़ा प्रेम से हंसिए, आनंद मारना है अपने आनंद। देखिए प्रभु जी सुनिए,
और लोग आ रहे हैं प्रभु।
जय श्री
क्या प्रभु हंसने का क्या मतलब है? सभी जगह आशी कोष में बसा है, 252 किलोमीटर के अंतर्गत सब जगह भगवान बाल लीला किया है ब्रज में, लेकिन गोकुल में भगवान बाल लीला किया है। छोटा बच्चा होता है नहीं, कहीं नाचता है, कहीं हंसता है, कहीं घोटू के बल से चलता है। आप लोग नंद भवन में जाएंगे, वहाँ घोटू के बल से चलना पड़ेगा। तो जो लोग यहाँ हंसी खुशी प्रसन्न रहते हैं, तो प्रभु सदैव उनको और उनकी फैमिली को हंसी खुशी रखती है, जब तक आप लोग ब्रज में यहाँ क्रोध गुस्सा नहीं कर सकते। अभी सबसे पहले चलेंगे अपन नंद भवन, फर्स्ट मंदिर।
हमको नहीं मालूम।
बोलो राधे राधे भगवान का टाइम का 4 वस्तु और पहला गिरी पर्वत जो भगवान आदमी खाया, और चौथा अंदर नंद बाबा का घर देखेंगे, वहाँ 84 पिलर लगे हैं, वो विश्वकर्मा देवता ने बनाए। 4 वस्तु किसने टाइम का और अभी आप लोग भगवान का दर्शन करने के लिए चलते हैं, तो भगवान का कुछ नाम लेना। पग पवित्र तीरथ गमन, कर पवित्र कुछ दान, और मुख पवित्र जब होगा भजने राधे केवल नाम आधारा, सुमर सुमर न रोक नहीं पारा। दान धर्म जो करता है इसको भगवान दिया है, लेकिन नाम लेने में कोई खर्चा नहीं होता है, भगवान का हरि होता है। चलिए चलिए, क्या क्या है उसका?
खाइए गोकुल की। अरे गोकुल में आना, माखन लस्सी रबड़ी खाना।
क्या नाम बाबू जी? जैसे आप लोग अपने जम्मू को छोड़ करके यहाँ भगवान का दर्शन करने आए हो, हिंदू धर्म का 33 करोड़ देवी देवता दर्शन करने आया, यशोदा ने सबको दर्शन कराया, लेकिन शंकर जी को दर्शन नहीं कराया। माता बहन भजनों में गाती है, देखो एक बाला योगी द्वार हमारे आया है, अंग बहुत बगल मृग छाला, गले शेष नाग लिपटाया। अरे ले भिक्षा निकली नगरानी, हीरा मोतियम थाल सजाया, और ले योगी अपनी भिक्षा, तूने मेरा सोता लाल जगाया।
क्या मिला था? भगवान का दर्शन, भगवान का चरण भक्ति। जो लोग यहाँ बैठते हैं तो उनको भगवान का चरण भक्ति मिलता है, और उनको कभी ना कभी अपना लाइफ में एक बार भगवान कृष्ण बाल स्वरूप का दर्शन अवश्य कराते हैं। ये यहाँ का महिमा है, इसके लिए आपको यहाँ बैठा ला। बोलिए शंकर भगवान की जय। अभी आप लोग वही जगह यहाँ योग माया जी का जन्म हुआ, भगवान को छुपा गए, योग माया को रिटर्न कर दिए। तो यहाँ भगवान छोटे थे, बच्चा रूप में ऐसा चले घोटू का वंशी। आप भी बच्चा थे नहीं जब अपना घर में ऐसे ही चले, तो यहाँ सब लोग ऐसे ही चलना है। मुख से बोलना है पापा मैया चले कन्हैया। ऐसा ऐसा बोलने से मुख से बोलिए हे नंद महाराज, यशोदा मैया, बलदाऊ भैया को दर्शन देना, हमारा धाम यात्रा पूर्ण। ये यहाँ का मेन टेम्पल है। आप लोग अपना घर में जन्माष्टमी व्रत मनाते नहीं, गोकुल अष्टम भगवान को अभिषेक करते, टीवी पर टेलीकास्ट आता है, वो इसी जगह का व्रत है। यहाँ कृष्ण गोपी का घर से मटकी तोड़ के क्या खाया? बेंगना बटर। यहाँ कृष्ण को जन्माष्टमी का बेंगना भोग लगता है। जो लोग भोग लगाते हैं मंदिर ट्रस्ट है उसका ऋषि को मिलता है, उनके पैसे से गोकुल की गाय को चारा पड़ता है। कृष्ण टाइम में 9 लाख गाय था, आज भी 2000 गाय रहता है। यहाँ का ऐसा रिवाज है, मथुरा का लड़की गोकुल का गाय जिसका भाग्य फूटे वो दूसरा गांव में जाए। आज भी मथुरा का जो लड़की है उसका मैरिज मथुरा में होता है। पर डे सुबह मॉर्निंग में मायके में भोजन करती है, शाम को ससुराल में। इधर कोई लोग गाय का बिक्री नहीं करता है। पहले 9 लाख गाय था, आज भी 2000 गाय रहता है। घर में गोदान, गोकुल में गौ को चारा देने से गोदान का फल मिलता है। और जिनको भगवान शक्ति दिया है, यहाँ गोकुल में अपने माता पिता के लिए गोदान करते हैं। जो लोग भगवान को भोग लगाते हैं उनका पैसा से गौ सेवा, ब्रजवासी सेवा होता है, मंदिर का व्यवस्था होता है। इन्हीं का मन है तो जन्माष्टमी भोग अर्चना करना, नहीं है तो कोई बर्जन नहीं। लेकिन पति पत्नी साथ में बैठे, या माँ यशोदा ने भगवान को झूला में झुलाया नहीं, नंद यशोदा जी ने, ऐसा ही पुत्र भाव से ठाकुर जी को झूला में झुलाना और 2 कदम घोटू के बल से चलना। बोलो बाकी बिहारी लाल की जय।
पीछे बैठना भैया।
चरणों में लगाते तो ब्रज आने का फल मिलता है। ये नंद का बड़ा नंद बाबा का घर, कृष्ण के बड़े भाई बलराम जो रामा अवतार में लक्ष्मण जी थे, ब्रज के राजा बलराम जी का जन्म यहाँ गोकुल में हुआ। कृष्ण परमात्मा का जन्म मथुरा में हुआ। दोनों भाई 7 वर्ष 52 दिन गोकुल में लीला किया। पूतना को मारा, कासुर मारा, बकासुर मारा, देवकासुर राक्षस को मारा। यहाँ नंद बाबा के यहाँ 9 लाख गाय थी। गाय चराती वक्त भगवान माटी खाया, विश्व ब्रह्मांड रूप दिखाया। रमण रेती में लोट लगाई, रमण रेत लोटा नहीं, किया न जमुना पान, वे मन सो जानो नहीं, ब्रज को तत्व महान। गोकुल में भगवान ने 7 साल 52 दिन बाल लीला किया। वृंदावन में महाराज किया, कन्नी उंगली पर गोवर्धन पहाड़ को धारण किया। बरसाने में होली खेली, 84 कोस में लीला किया, कंस का वध कर दिया, द्वारका में जाकर राज किया। इन्हीं कृष्ण परमात्मा का नाम हुआ द्वारिकाधीश। बोलो द्वारिकाधीश की जय। बहन समुद्रा को साथ में लेके उड़ीसा प्रांत में गए जगन्नाथपुरी। इन्हीं कृष्ण बलराम जी का नाम हुआ जगदीश। बोलो जगदीश महाराज की जय। कौरव पांडव युद्ध समाप्त हुआ। अर्जुन को साथ में लेकर हिमालय पर्वत पर गए बद्रीनाथ। इन्हीं कृष्ण परमात्मा का नाम हुआ बद्री विशाल। बोलो बद्री विशाल की जय। प्रकार का है जो यात्री 1 केजी का राजभोग लगाते हैं, अपने माता पिता और पत्नी के माता पिता दोनों परिवार के नाम से 4 गौ, 4 संघ, 4 ब्राह्मण को भोजन बड़ी नेम प्लेट में नाम रोज भोग लगता है। जीवन में एक बार 5151 रुपया दान होता है। जो यात्री माता पिता के नाम से 2 गौदान करते हैं, 11 साल भोग लगता है, 2551 रुपया दान होता है, 2551। और जो यात्री 1 पाव का माखन मिश्री भोग लगाते हैं, पत्नी के नाम से 1 गौदान करते हैं, 1 साल भगवान को भोग लगता है, 1151 रुपया दान होता है, 1151। स्त्री पुरुष का दान 1 होता है, माँ बेटा का दान 1 होता है, बाप बेटे का दान 1 होता है। अभी दर्शन खुलेगा, 3 बात का ख्याल रखना है। ये नंद महाराज का दर्शन, ये यशोदा माँ का दर्शन जो 9 लाख गौ के दूध से माखन निकालती। सेंटर में कृष्ण का अन्ना भाई बलराम 7 फल का शेषनाग रक्षा करता है। हाथ में अटक धूप का गिलास है, कोने में योग माया महामाया, उस कोने में माखन चोर और गोपाल कृष्ण पालने को झूलता है। फिर मैं बताता हूँ, ये नंद बाबा, ये यशोदा मैया, सेंटर में बलदेव जी, कोने में योग माया, उस कोने में माखन चोर और गोपाल कृष्ण पालने को झूलता है। अब 10,151 रुपया वो लंबा हाथ करिए।
having Akila. Okay.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Gokul Dham ki. Yes, please. Thank you. आओ लेमन सोडा पिलाए बंटे वाला आओ लेमन सोडा पिलाए आओ जीरा बंटे वाला
अहमद कर दो उसको और भी है चंदन केसर वाला फेस पाउडर
कितना जी जी फोटो बॉम्बे
Come faster, faster.
Photo bomb.
Faster. Come here. Come here.
नंद भवन, वहाँ जसोदा माई 9 लाख गाय का दूध से माखन निकालती थी। भगवान कृष्ण यहाँ माखन चोरी लीला किया। वो किसके लिए किया? पहले यहाँ नरकुबेर भंडारी के 2 पुत्र थे, यमला और अर्जुन। वो जमुना में नग्न स्नान करते थे। नारद जी का श्राद्ध था, जड़ बनेंगे। तो प्रार्थना किया, हमारा दोनों पेड़ के बीच में उखली अटक गई। भगवान का चरण दोनों वृक्ष से लगा तो उनका कल्याण हो गया। तो ये राधा दामोदर लीला का जगह है, या भगवान राधा दामोदर लीला किया है, उखल बंधन बोलते हैं। ये बराबर में गौशाला है गोकुल का, जो मैंने आपको आगे बताया था। यहाँ पर गर्गाचार मुनि भगवान कृष्ण बलराम का नामकरण संस्कार किया है। ये वो जगह है, यहाँ दर्शन करिए, फिर गौशाला को नमस्कार करिए। ठीक है, बोलिए गौ माता की जय। परिक्रमा करके आइए अंदर सब लोग। यमला अर्जुन का जो दिया वो आ गया।
शर्मा जी इधर आ जाओ। संजय जी ले लो जल्दी।
सब इधर देखो, कौन त्रिशा लुक किया है उसका तरफ फोटो वेट करेंगे पहले
Cow smell.
ए நம்ம பக்கம் ஏதோ படுத்து திரும்பி யூடியூப்ல எடுத்து வர போகுது. That's a very nice photo. Thank you.
Photo எடுத்த அண்ணாக்கும் ஜெய்.
Smile, because Nandabhavan.
Come here.
भक्त हृदय मंदारा बामी कोटि सुंदरा नंद नंद गोपविंद नारायण गोविंद नंद नंद गोपविंद नारायण गोविंद हरि 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 नारायण गोविंद राधे गोविंद भजो राधे गोपाल 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 सब सीन
Krishna
गोविंद राधा रमण गोपाल राधा रमण गोपाल राधा रमण गोविंद राधा रमण गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल राधा रमण गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल राधा रमण गोविंद राधा रमण गोपाल राधा रमण गोविंद राधा रमण गोपाल राधा रमण गोविंद राधा रमण गोविंद राधा रमण
आज के आनंद की एक बार और ताली बजाओ, बोलो राधे 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 राधे। इसका हाथ करके एक बार बाकी बिहार की आप तो जिस स्थान पर आए हैं इसका नाम है ब्रह्मांड घाट। इसका भागवत में लेख दिया है, ब्रह्मांड घाट स्नानम सर्वनपापना। अपन नंद भवन देखा था, वहाँ भगवान की जो गाय थी तेरी जंगल था, यहाँ चराने के लिए कृष्ण बलराम आते। तो यहाँ भगवान क्या लीला किया, गाय चराते सामने माटी, हमारा ब्रज का भाषा में बोलता है छोटा सा माटी का डेरा, तुरंत श्याम ने मुख में मेला, गटक गटक गटकाई जसोदा सुन माई तेरे कन्हैया ने माटी खाई। जब भगवान यहाँ माटी खाया तो उनके सखा श्रीरामा सुदामा धनसुख मनसुख दौड़ करके माँ यशोदा ने दिया, कृष्ण माटी खाता। माँ कहने लगी मेरा कृष्ण तो माखन चोर है, माखन खाता है, कृष्ण नहीं खाता। तब बलराम बोले नहीं मिट्टी खाया है, तो माँ को थोड़ा क्रोध आया, भगवान को डांटने के लिए आए। तो माँ यशोदा कृष्ण से पूछे ब्रज का शब्द चौरे लाला तेने खाई माटी माखन तू में कबू न नाटी। इसका भावार्थ है माखन के लिए तो मना नहीं किया, लेकिन तेने माटी क्यों खाया? कान पकड़ा, मुंह देखा, तो भगवान जब मुख खोला तो मुख के अंदर 3 लोग 14 भगवान विश्वरूप ब्रह्मांड का दर्शन माँ को कराया। तो घाट का नाम ब्रह्मांड घाट, भगवान का नाम ब्रह्मांड बिहारी। बोलिए ब्रह्मांड बिहारी लाल की जय। पहले माँ को यहाँ घाट रूप का दर्शन कराया, दूसरा क्षेत्र में अर्जुन को। तो यहाँ जमुना में आचमन करने का महत्व, गंगा का स्नान और जमुना का पान समान फल दे। तो सब लोग पहले जमुना में पानी नहीं देना, पाँव नहीं देना, पहले अपने माथे पर जल चढ़ाना, क्योंकि ये कृष्ण की मटवानी है जमुना की। पाँव देने से दोष, उसके बाद मुख में चरणामृत लेना, हाथ पाँव धोना है, हाथ पाँव धोना, बच्चा लोग का पानी देना। उसके बाद आप लोग ब्रह्मांड बिहारी का दर्शन करें। अरे सब जगह लड्डू पेड़ा माखन का प्रसाद मिलता है, भगवान को लड्डू पेड़ा माखन का भोग लगता है, लेकिन यहाँ मिट्टी का लगता है। तो भगवान ने मिट्टी खाया। किसी को घर के लिए मिट्टी प्रसाद देना हो तो यहाँ पैकेट के रूप में देते हैं 10 रुपया का करके, वो आपका घर में 4 काम आएगा। पहला काम, छोटा मिट्टी खाता है बच्चा, थोड़ा उसको खिला दो तो मिट्टी खाना बंद कर। दूसरा, अपने घर में जमुना जल नहीं हो तो एक शुद्ध लोटी का जल में उसको मिक्स करना, तो जमुना जल हो। तीसरा, भगवान को चंदन लगाना, ऐसे भगवान ब्रज रज करने से प्रसन्न होते हैं गोपाल। और चौथा, अपने मस्तक पर, ठीक है ना। उसके बाद ये कदम का पेड़ है, इसका परिक्रमा देना। उसके बाद गाड़ी में बैठेंगे, फिर अपन लोग रमणरेती, ठीक है। बोलो जमुना मैया की जय।
आ जाओ बेटा, इधर आओ ना, यहाँ आ जाओ, बैठो।
हरे कृष्णा।
हाँ जा रहा हूँ।
फोटो
हाँ
हाँ
जय श्री कृष्णा।
What is the first wish you ask?
Aarti is waiting. Aarti.